Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Monster, episode 66. Alright.
We left on a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. We now know that Chapek knows, or at least he heard, about how Johan and Anna were created.
Right. And whether that's in a strictly literal sense or a metaphorical sense or whatever. Who knows?
Either way,
it's kind of crazy.
Big info dump.
We could have, an entire info dump on the birds and the bees and how it works.
And specifically with Tenma and Ava now back together, we have I would say a little bit more streamlined potential plot stuff coming up here.
Yes. There's the
still waiting on you, Lung.
Yeah, still waiting on Lung. And then we're not holding our breath. But and then there's the whole bit with the disciple and Johan and how they knew each other back at Kinderheim. Which is kind of a big deal. Yeah.
All right, so big potential reveals coming. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, their mom.
Oh boy.
Oh, we don't know who's holding the hand there. That could have been Anna or Johan.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, it's probably Anna, but it
doesn't have to
both.
be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Wow.
ドイツ系チェコスロバキア人第二次大戦後ボヘミア地方に居残ったある一家の長男士官学校出身の軍人
Is this Franz
国
Bonaparte?
家の明日を担うエリートだった
Oh.
名前
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
名前など
Oh,
wow.
モラビア地方の小学校教師の一人娘として生まれる
Johan's
ブロンド
mom?
の髪
Oh, these are the parents.
美しい
Wow.
Oh, right, because
ブ
how
ルノ
they
大
were
学
created.
進学
Yeah.
遺伝子工学を専攻教授陣から将来を嘱望される才媛だった名前
Names don't really matter. Wow.
Okay.
二人はプラハのカフェで知り合ったほどなく女は子供を宿すそして男は告白するこれは任務だったと
Dang.
人種頭脳骨格運動の
Oh.
選び抜かれた男と女の間に子供を作る、
Okay. Holy crap.
男はシナリオ通りに任務を遂行したが今やその通りに動く気はないと告げ二人は逃げ出した
Alright.
Dang. Oh, that's terrifying.
Is that
男
Bonaparte?
はシナリオ通りに動かないと宣言したがその行動も
Oh
すで
my
にシナ
god,
リオに
really?
組み込まれていた
Okay.
女は見知らぬ部屋に隔離された
So she was like under surveillance and watched like the whole time?
I guess.
彼は新しい任務に就きました彼に合わせて
Being dead.
女は言った
Wow.
彼に合わせて
That's
彼に合わ
heartbreaking.
せて
She's probably drugged and underneath, you know,
彼
all
女は
kinds
知っ
of
ていた
Well,
like
probably not
mental
drugged.
distress and stuff.
この世にはいないであろうということを
Do you think she's like just shut down?
Well, no, because the thing is, they're after the children, so... Wow, that picture.
Yeah.
顔をこちらに
Mm.
私は許さない私が死んでも私の中でどんどん大きくなっていく子供たちが必ずあなたに復讐
He's
する
like, oh,
君
Really?
は面白いことを言うね
okay.
臨月を迎え出産の時が来た生き身をそらすため別室に移された時ついに彼女は行動に出た
Oh my
No way. While
god.
she's
数
pregnant.
十センチ身重の体で激しい陣痛に見舞われながら
You gotta be kidding me.
彼女は通気口から脱出した
Wow.
That is insane.
What a badass.
彼女が倒れていたのは門から数十メートルの路上なんて美しい子たちなんだこの子たちが人類の未来を担う子供たちなのですね
あの子たちの名前を考えたの
余計なことは考えなくていい
あの子たちに名前を
is.
Yeah.
いいんだ。
There he is.
名前などいらない。
Alright. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Dang.
フランツ・ボナパルト。
ヨハンは彼の居場所を私に聞いた。あなたを決して許
My
さない。
children will come.
私が死
Exactly.
んで
Yep.
私の中でどんどん大きくなっていくこの子たちが必ずあなたに復讐する。
フランツ・ボナパルトは生きているのね。
ヨハンに聞けばいい。
Okay.
彼はここにいる。
Well.
Alright.
All right.
Okay.
Anna and Johan back together.
この先に病院がある。ヨハンの居場所を教えればそこに運ぶ。
Good leverage.
知らないものは知らない。
Wow.
早く言いなさいよ。
銃で僕を撃つ。挙句にこんなに出血させて
Well,
脅
yeah.
迫とはね。
Oh, Tenma.
Tenma, like, didn't you go there specifically to kill him?
早く言いなさいよ。
Well, he's getting info from
Right,
him.
right, right.
He's dead
知
anyway.
らないものは知らない。
この車に出血多量の怪我人が乗っていると病院に電話してくれ。
Wow.
何言ってるの？
Okay.
もう少しでこいつはヨハンの。
これ以上は命に関わる。
So what happened to killing the disciple, Tenma?
あんたには人は殺せない。
Hmm. Maybe that's not so bad of a thing, though.
教えてあげるよ。ヨハンの居場所。
Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
健三は
Switch the question. No one. Where's Johan? Where's Tenma?
あんたに伝言だ。これ以上巻き込むことはできない。
I like that he's being honest
君
here.
の人生を台無しにした。
We assume.
Wow.
本当にすまない。幸せになってくれ。
That seems like something that would actually
Sure.
be honest from Tenma, though.
どうして泣くんだ。わからない。僕には全然わからない。
Of course you don't. Well, this is going to be something. This is going to be something else. I just can't believe that.
No one's died of the people that like we thought would die yet, or
Yeah, that, but also just that Franz Bonaparte is alive here. Like, he basically just an old man just dying alone.
I don't know. Okay.
For real, though. Yep.
Okay.
There he is.
Oh, is this when at the Ritter's mansion when the people were poisoned? Or
Oh, we have to
Or
see
this
the
is
full
after?
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
おかえり。
さあ、担当食べ。そんなに慌てて食べると喉に詰まるぞ。
本当に親がいないんじゃないかしら。
いたとしても帰りたくない理由がある。
私たち子供が欲しかったわね。
Oh.
ああ、
私たちで引き取って。
バカなことを言うな。
Mm.
いや、きつい言い方をして悪かった。
Oh.
とにかく警察に電話しよ
う。どうしたの僕。
They're dead.
おじさんとおばさん
I'm
に
gonna call the
あげて
police.
くるね。
What's the matter, boy? Cut away to Anna.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
言っただろ。いい計画があるって。
Oh my gosh.
さあ。
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yep. Yep. Jeez. With a knife. Like. Oh. Now.
Mm-hmm.
やっと会えたね。
Oh.
赤いバラの屋敷から逃げ出して。
Oh, so it was
3匹の
Johan.
カエルの部屋に
It was
たどり
Johan
着いた
who
僕
did
を
it.
君は迎えてくれた。だから今度は僕が君に言うよ。おかえり。
Wow.
ハイデルベルク20歳の誕生日。
あなたはフォルトナーさんを、そしてリーベルトさんを、今まで私たちに優しくしてくれた人たち、みんなあなたが殺したのよ。
いや、今日は気持ちのいい日だねって言ったんですよ。
He's lost in thought too, yeah.
ああ、運転手さん。
はいよ。
もう少し急いでくれないか。
僕を撃てよ。
殺して。
僕が助けてやる。
Whoa.
あの時みたいに撃つかい？
もうすべて終わりにするわ。
終わりってなんだろう。終わり。終わり。
Wow.
終わり。何度も何度も終わりの世界を見てきた。
In a way he has.
Yeah.
あなたが死んで私も死ぬ。
No.
何を見てきたの？あなた何を見てきたの？あなたは知らない。話してあげるわ。本当の恐ろしい話を。
ただいま。
Oh.
Hold on a sec.
Whoa.
We knew that Anna was the one walking up the stairs.
Well, we
Because she remembered walking up the stairs. And...
I mean, yeah, but then there was always the doubt about how that information was being communicated to us in some ways. So basically, they were just trying to double down on the doubt, and Anna's like, "No, I killed everyone at the Red Rose Mansion.
Right,
I did all that." Johan is putting that all on himself because he's the one that's wanting to protect her.
Right.
And really, a lot of the hell that gone through is just, her. Oh. All
right.
Okay.
So they've reunited.
Yeah. We had a lot of backstory.
Yeah, we did. We did.
But they tried to do some unreliable narrator stuff on us here by trying to make us think that our original presumption was that Anna was the one that did the killing at the Red Rose Mansion. She was the one that came back to the house. Johan was the one that welcomed her home. That was the reason why she had those flashbacks when she was alone. Why would she have her memories twisted up like that if it was the other way around?
And it makes sense given the fact that Johan at Kinderheim, his memories were messed with, and he potentially forgot all about Anna, whereas Anna, she suppressed them because of the trauma of everything, but she was able to, because of she went to a better place than him, she was able to heal from it.
Right.
Now...
And also the whole aspect of Anna and him basically ending up in that situation where, Johan basically was like, shoot me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, what might have happened right there, I'm not 100% sure about it, is while Johan might have died in the switch, basically, like he might have basically been given another opportunity to change the way he was by being brought back to life, essentially, by Tenma, Anna snapped backwards. She might have actually reignited her monstrous side a little bit, and that's why she just went inert and shut down, was because rather than actually acting in that, she remembered everything because she killed her brother. She did something that violated every sense of who she was, and was catatonic essentially for the rest of the time there. So we have some very twisted things going on here, and
just a bit.
While we now are kind of underneath basically that's about as far of an explanation they're probably going to give as regards to the origins of Johan and Anna. The important thing to bring up is that they were both originally planned to be leaders of the new world, essentially. They were both, set up to be these genetic, perfect babies or whatever.
Right.
And, for some dark, nefarious plans via Franz Bonaparte's whole deal there. And I love how badass their mom was in that she nearly got away.
Yeah.
Like, she almost nearly got away.
Yep.
It's so depressing, though, to feel like the husband, the dad, it's not really important who he is, he was.
Taken away and killed.
Or
most likely.
Or he is on another assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, she's alone. She's left alone in this whole thing here.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that it doesn't really matter whether or not he's dead, because this was one of their planned scenarios where they're like, oh no, these babies will still end up becoming everything we need them to be, regardless of where the parents are in this whole situation, as long as they're born.
Yep. One of the things I was a little bit bit curious about is how they would potentially take into account the idea of the mental and emotional state of the mom as she's carrying them. Because the thing is that, while it might not be as big of a deal as, say, genetics or something,
right?
I can imagine that would still have definitely an effect on the kids.
Yeah, but they don't have that probably level of science in terms of actually understanding that being a thing.
Sure. There's a part of me that wonders whether the whole aspect of her basically swearing that her children would have revenge, whether that's something that's just apropos and creepy and spooky because it ends up happening.
Yeah, it's thematic.
Or because it totally could be thematic, but there's that part of me that wonders if that was actually something that was also a part of the planned possibilities, in that they not only got people that were smart and everything, but they also got people that had that side of them where they wouldn't just let themselves be defeated. They would fight back. Exactly.
Well, I think that just goes into their whole thing of, we believed that you were the perfect specimen for our experiments here. And that just makes sense in that someone who has all these things going for them and stuff would have the confidence in and of themselves to fight back.
Right, not just looks and smarts, but also mental fortitude and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty terrifying to think about, because I don't think that's something that's that fantastical. That sounds like something that's probably happened in the past way more often than we'd like to admit.
Probably.
And it's really sick because it removes the whole aspect of choice. So you end up, you think about a child's innocence, right? Mm-hmm. And you think about the child is, when they're straight from the womb, there's nothing tarnished about them. They haven't been corrupted by this world and all the darkness within it. But no, it's basically we will get them from the inception of their time in this world. We will begin the process, the plan, and it's just it's so insidious, so disgusting. But they're at Franz Bonaparte's place,
right?
And Franz Bonaparte isn't here, as far as we can see. Mm-hmm. So either he's dead and buried already outside, and Johan basically is just contemplating and waiting for Anna to arrive, because Keikaku doried that she would, eventually come here. So
because what I get the feeling is that this is actually the hospital where she was kept at, maybe the ruins of the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So Franz Bonaparte doesn't necessarily have to be here,
or even was here necessarily.
Right. Yeah. I definitely want him to be brought into the story at some point in the present day. But Johan, this has intention behind it, right? He not just to meet it back up with Anna, but he did the whole thing again of pointing at his head and being like, will you do it this time? Or will you still be able to do it? Mm-hmm. And I can't help but wonder, is he testing her? Is there some specific goal that he has? You know, what's his game?
Well, I think he's won. He said, I've seen the world many, many times, the end of the world many, many times. And then she asked the question, what did you see? Which basically has already, she's already shifted away from I'm going to kill you and end all this to, well, what did you see?
Yeah.
So in that way, he's already won.
Well, and let's be real, like, as dark as this might be, if Tenma and or Anna really wanted to kill Johan, and they really wanted to be sure that they'd be able to do it, they would need to kill someone else beforehand, like to make sure that when the moment came, that they wouldn't hesitate, because they would kind of need to turn themselves into kind of a cold killer, in order to make sure that Johan wouldn't have anything to play off of, because, all he has to do is say some words.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested in what they're going to go into with Anna here, revealing her backstory, because it seemed a bit too like
something we already knew.
Yeah,
because they had already kind of established that, and maybe it's something where it's like, hey, we had seeded it already so that the information was there, but hey, if you want, like, now we're going to like spell it out, kind of a thing,
right?
And that's what's the cliffhanger for this episode, but. They had made it pretty clear that Anna remembered going up the stairs and first person perspective and everything, and then she was greeted by herself. Right. And they even did the creepy voice and stuff, just in case,
Right. And that makes sense now why Johan believes he's the one that did all these things, is because he pretended to be Anna when he was younger.
And maybe he forgot all the memories. He forgot a lot of the memories of Anna in Kinderheim, so he held on to whatever he could. And some of it ended up being stuff that he did while pretending to be Anna.
Yeah, and it makes sense then why he would cross-dress into being Anna in Prague, because that's him basically getting in touch with his old self.
Right.
Just who he was. Mm-hmm. And, maybe that's just the remnants of it, because he doesn't actually have any perfect memories anymore at this point. Mm-hmm. That's probably why he's been waiting for Anna to come back, is that in some ways she reminds him of himself, and by them talking about this, he might be able to finally be free and remember everything as it really was.
Sure.
And in that respect, that's really sad and heartbreaking, because there are things that Johan did that were horrible.
Oh yeah, like we saw this episode, like he killed that couple.
Mm-hmm. And and everything at Kinderheim, like that was him.
Yeah, like all those times of him saying, "I've seen the end of the world many times." Mm-hmm. Like now that line kind of makes more sense to me, because it's the idea that he could be talking about not the end of the world like planet Earth, humanity, but a world. The world of Kinderheim, the world of the Red Rose Mansion. Mm-hmm. He saw it. Yep. He saw how the people behaved. And when it all went quiet.
Oh, and then they had the whole thing in Munich and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, with having them here together. Yeah. With Tenma on his way.
Right.
And us having 7 episodes left, I am shook thinking about how much story there still is, and yet it seems like this is where it could all end.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're like 2 episodes away from everything ending?
I mean, there's still a lot of extra plot points, that are sort of out there, like the fact that we haven't seen Lung in forever. Like,
I guess.
I'm almost starting to wonder if Lung is, like, how much of a part Lung is going to have to play in the rest of the story, because
he's gonna have some part.
He's gonna have some part, but he's been gone for a long time.
No, he's gonna come back.
Yeah,
I think the scary thing here is that Anna's gonna be reawakened.
Yeah,
Nina's
gonna go bye bye.
Yeah, Nina's gonna go bye bye, and Anna's gonna come back, and Anna will be just as scary as Johan is right now.
Yep.
And my hope is that they will not be forced to kill her, because if there's other than Dieter, if there's anyone out there that needs to have a happy ending, I really want to be Anna. I really want to be Nina. And the whole thing they did with this episode of names, that's not really important. Names, that doesn't matter. I love how that points at Anna and Johan, basically. Who they are, it doesn't matter. They're the same. They're achieving the same result.
I could see something happening where Tenma shows up and he sees 2 Annas.
But what do you mean?
Basically, that Johan cross dresses as Anna. You know, like, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be necessary, but the idea that, okay, so maybe that's
more of an
that's a representation of what would actually be happening. But the idea that even if Tenma could bring himself to kill Johan, I sincerely doubt that he would if he couldn't kill the disciple. But
well, remember, this is a story where, like we've been predicting for a while, Johan has to win in some way,
right?
And there's nothing so far that's indicated that's going to change. If anything, Johan could still die,
right?
But it's going to be doing this on his terms,
right? I'm not even thinking, like, I highly doubt Tenma will even kill Johan. Like, I would say I'm about 90% sure Tenma won't. I would say it's more likely that Johan will kill Johan than that Tenma will kill Johan.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But this could be the way that Johan essentially, you know, basically, you know, your whole thing of him being, like, going beyond death and stuff like that. Anna is basically his legacy at that point. Basically
right.
saying, Anna, all of this was to basically bring you back to the same place where you were. And now we're here. We can acknowledge ourselves and who we are and accept them.
Yeah, and then is that something where they'll go and, you know, be together? Or Johan will die and Anna will live on? Or they'll both die together? Like, I don't know.
No, I think Anna's going to live.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really don't want her to die.
I don't want her to die either.
Yeah. It's mostly irrational, I think, for me. I just don't want her to die. There's nothing I would say pointing towards that she has to live. And the fact that Johan is here, he has distracted Anna from her mission, from being why she's here. He's already won.
Right.
And yet, she's about to tell him the truth, though. Which is exciting. Because we don't know how Johan will react to this.
That's a good point.
Could Johan be in denial of reality?
Sure, he totally could be. And, like, it could be something where it's like a consciously in denial, or something where it's just ever since Kinderheim, it was all jumbled up from there, and he never got it right since then.
Yeah.
And then maybe Anna comes by and, you know, and lays it all out for him, and it completely destabilizes him. Who knows?
Sure.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, here's a crazy thought.
What?
Every time he's been doing this, you know, he's basically, this is his death wish. His please kill me, please end this.
Yeah.
Because maybe on some level he is in denial of reality, but the ultimate denial of reality is suicide. It's basically I reject this, I leave this, I abandon this. It's sad, it's heartbreaking. But with him asking Anna to do it first, that's basically, if he sees himself as Anna, he's asking himself to do it.
Sure. And then, of course, there's the question of, right, is it something to test her, to try and see if Anna is there underneath the Nina, or is it something to, I don't know, or is it him killing himself, or I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just so crazy.
Monster,
because
guys. Crazy.
I'm starting to empathize so much more with them because we've seen them as kids.
Yeah, like because the thing is, when he killed those two people, I could totally see what was going through his head.
Yep.
Like, it's, oh crap, they're gonna call the police. Well, that would be bad for us. So so he kills them.
I can't convince them out of that.
Right, exactly. And it was not something that was, malicious necessarily. It was just, I want to keep my sister safe.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because I think this is what they're doing. They're basically saying, "Oh, we're going to get you to empathize with Johan because at some point he lost his way." And the reason why he lost his way is because he was trying to protect his sister.
Right.
And the reason why he was trying to protect his sister is because she lost her way a long time before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was basically doing the,
I don't want her to ever have to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right. Which is, whew.
Oh, it's heavy.
Right. And that's the, wow.
Yeah. Because Johan as a character is one that, as of, I would say a couple, about a dozen episodes ago, he wasn't really like he didn't really have like this huge presence in the story. He was in the story like way early on.
He had a presence, you know, in that we could like feel him.
Right, but he wasn't as much of a character as Anna was.
Right. And the idea that potentially, you know, the whole thing of him saying, yeah, shoot me, was so that, like, because the thing is, the fact that she was like, oh, you've been killing these people all this time?
Right.
He wanted her to discover that, I would think, you know?
Yeah.
Because the fact that it happened, right? Otherwise, why would it have happened?
Yeah.
And then, which would mean that him asking her to kill him is to basically say, yep, I did everything.
Yep.
And you can go live a normal life, hopefully, maybe now that I'm not around.
Yeah.
You know?
But Tenma saves his life.
Uh-huh.
And he's all like, wait, like, you know, God, fate, everything, the universe reached down to me and gave me another chance.
Yeah. Right.
So
maybe we still can be together.
Right. So the problem is that he reverts back to Kinderheim Johan, though, at that point.
Right.
And he goes back to his original thing with, you know, his programming, essentially. And Anna's already kind of rejected her programming or been healed out of her programming through the good orphanage. So the whole thing of Johan being ripped away from her is something where she's just not willing to remember that because it's too traumatic and stuff. And she's already been through so much trauma. So her body's used to, her brain is used to localizing off memories and being like, yeah, no, let's not focus on that.
Yeah,
everything's going to be okay.
It almost seems like in the case of Anna, it was something where she would call up the monster when it was needed to do the things that needed to be done, right? In the case of, like, say, poisoning all the people at the Red Rose Mansion. And then because of that, she could, the lie that she would, you know, usually have to just sort of exist and blend in, ended up just becoming who she was, right? That became, you know, that was Nina.
Right.
Whereas Johan, he didn't quite have that as much because, yeah. Wow.
Dang. I'm just impressed with how much they're still going back because there's still so much layering being done to the story. It's almost like there's a whole nother story, a whole nother show that could be told before this show even started.
Yeah.
And yet they're just going to do it anyway. They're just going to basically show that show. You know, just kind of do that story in addition to it, you know, concurrently when we need to bring that stuff back up again as it, you know, becomes relevant.
And as crazy as this episode was, I get the feeling the next one is going to be way crazier. Yeah, because that conversation between Johan and Anna is what I'm really looking forward to. Not just with what Anna has to say, because we got a fair amount of that this episode. Well, and we got a fair amount of what Johan has to say, but how they respond to what each other have to say.
Anna, please. If you're going to snap back, at the very least, please don't kill yourself. Like, this is the one thing, like, I really don't want this to end up being in a place where Anna feels that there's no way out.
Right, like neither of us should ever have existed, so I'm going to right the wrong and then wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't.
If anything, that seems very close to what Johan has been trying to do.
Right.
Of just making sure that no one knows of his existence.
Oh.
But okay. Yeah. All right. Hopefully Ava's all right. She was staying at the car with the gun for a while, and I hope she ran.
Hey, you know what? Ava might be okay.
Maybe.
Ava might be okay. Because, I mean, if she gets caught by the cops, good.
Yeah.
She can't get killed in there.
I will say, it did feel like a bit of backpedaling to have Tenma be... Because we've seen him deal with the whole thing of, like, is it right to kill people, you know, before? And, okay, this is what I need to do. And he does it again, knowing that he has trouble with this in the past. And they do the same thing of the people getting the guns pointing at each other, and then, you know, Tenma fires, right, takes down the other guy, but they're not actually dead. And in this case, he knew it was supposed to be an execution. He still has the guy. He gets the information he needs. You know, the whole thing of, like you could say that the getting the information was the excuse that he gave himself that put off the problem until it was in a situation where he didn't want to do it because he knew he could save the person. But like, come on, Tenma. Like,
see, I feel like there's there's an interpretation of this story that you might be holding on to a bit too much, of where Johan decided to kill, Tenma decided to kill Johan the beginning of the show. But he still has never killed anyone.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a very important thing, I think, that the whole, some doctor you are, some doctor you are, some doctor you are.
And this is against your nature. You can't do it. Like that. What the disciple said, I thought was really good. Right. What I wish we maybe had in this episode, even though I get why they probably removed it, because the stuff with Anna and Johan is way more important, is showing Tenma making the decision that, okay, I'm actually not going to kill this guy, as opposed to jumping to where it seems he's already kind of made the decision not to kill him.
Okay, sure, sure.
Just so that we can see that.
Here's a scenario that might kind of make you feel a little bit better about this, though. Is Tenma busted in the door, saw the situation, didn't think at all, shot with the intent to stop him, but he
shot him in the leg.
Well, he also shot him in the ear.
No, that was Ava.
Oh, that was Ava. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So even when the dude pulled on him, he shot him in the leg, which is
Tenma's a good enough shot now. He would know how to kill him. So, okay, so never mind. That scenario doesn't work. The main thing I think that is kind of the way that I kind of look at this is that I don't really see Tenma killing Johan at the end of the show anyway.
Sure. Yeah,
I feel it more being a thing of a repeat of what happened at the end of... Sorry, at the very beginning of the whole thing with Anna and Johan. Is Johan's going to point here, basically pull the gun like directly and be like, shoot me. And then like Tenma's not even going to be able to do it, and then Johan's going to like put his hands and thumbs on the thing, and they're going to like pull the trigger together.
Sure.
Like it's going to be very much a murder assisted suicide type thing. Like not a thing of where Tenma just kind of edgelord guy. Just looking down the camera angle, looking up at Tenma with the gun pointed directly at the camera, and he just kind of
exactly. Right. It's not going to be something like that. But because of how much time they've spent with Tenma basically realizing, I need to kill this person, and he's done that in multiple points along the story. I would have liked to see Tenma have more understanding of the kind of person he is, that he realizes his own, not aversion isn't strong enough of a word, how completely contrary to his nature.
He's a doctor,
right? He's a doctor.
First rule as a doctor is do no harm. It's it's basically the equivalent of save people,
right? Basically. Exactly. And then there was the whole thing that Anna told him, save as many people as you can, and I would have liked to see more of that being something that Tenma is aware of. I've had trouble with this in the past. Do I actually think I will be able to pull the trigger?
Right. I don't think we're there yet.
Sure.
We're going to have that.
Yeah, and that's going to be with Johan, not with...
He's literally going to think about that when he sees Johan and he's pointing the gun directly at his face. That's when we're going to get that. Because here's the thing I feel like that this show is doing very, very well, is that Tenma hasn't changed. If anything, he's denied parts of himself over and over and over again, but he cannot change. And the disciple brought that up. Basically, that you can't change. Which I think is very pointed also in a double way with the whole thing with Anna and Johan.
Right, especially with Anna. Because with Johan, it's like, okay, Johan can't change. All right, they're not going to redeem Johan. Okay.
No.
But that was definitely something that he did take on while it was also put on him for the sake of Anna.
He tried to change. Or maybe not tried to change. He tried to change Anna, maybe.
Sure, yeah, well, right. Anna's the one where there's a lot of the change stuff happening, and the idea that...
she can or can't change.
Right, or can't can or can't she, and the fact that she has already, it seems, but then did she really change and all that stuff? And
is she just in denial? Is she just unable to remember?
And the whole aspect of like Anna kind of being in denial, and then Tenma also definitely being in denial. That is something I would love to see happen and be brought up in the eventual conversation with Tenma and Johan, like that, because just stating it's contrary to your nature, it's like, okay, but I'm more interested in it's contrary to your nature. It's contrary to your nature. You have not been able to do that yet, and yet you still say you're going to.
He never says he's okay.
No.
Actually, I was going to, when I say never, look at the recent stuff. Think back. He has avoided talking details, because he doesn't have anyone that he's actually got the ability to talk about this with.
Okay.
So one of the things that's a storytelling kind of flaw that we kind of all accept, I think, a little bit, is the expositing to the audience for no reason. And
gotcha.
Tenma has literally no one he can talk to about this.
Yes.
In fact, he's intentionally made it so that he has no one to talk about this.
Right.
And there's a very specific reason for that. It's because he's in denial, I think, that he has to do this. Right. And he is going to come face to face with his denial when that comes up, then the stuff that you're wanting to have happen, I think, will definitely happen.
Right. Because it's not that I have some obsession with Tenma becoming some like, for the greater good I will do this.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, no. But it's
you.
the idea that since he is the main character and since he's been on such a journey, I want to see all that juicy growth within him. And in this, it's probably because it's, again, for a character that's not as, like, big picture, like, relevant as someone like, say, Johan.
Sure.
It feels like retreading old ground. Without like, throwing in that extra way of putting a fresh spin on it with the specific thing that causes Tenma to go from, I'm killing this guy, to, no.
I figured it out.
What?
I figured out another thing. Tenma pushes other people away from the whole I have to kill Johan thing, because I think in a lot of ways he doesn't want other people to see him as a killer. I think he likes being seen as the person that saves other people.
Sure.
And because Ava was there, he's
and
not going to kill
Ava.
her.
Yeah.
He saved Ava.
Right.
Now, also at this time where it would be very much like helpful to have Ava go with him on this whole thing. No.
Right.
Bye. You stay here with this. In fact, in some ways, he's apologizing because he just told her to incriminate herself.
Yeah,
like,
that's
by leaving her with his body, he's basically saying, I see Johan being, ended by me as more important than really...
Right. And
that's a bit extreme of a way to look at it.
We could assume that she has the common sense to be like, okay, I just called an ambulance. I'm not going to stay here with the body and a gun, right? But they didn't actually show that at the end of the episode, so it's just like, I hope she didn't wait for the ambulance. And then there's the whole aspect that it could also be a level of Tenma sabotaging himself, in that he doesn't want to kill somebody, so he never actually commits to it fully, and that's why he doesn't have anyone go to help him, because he could totally, because the thing is if he has someone else that's like, all right, we're going to kill somebody, right? They need to die. If you won't do it, I will. Like the whole thing.
He has no exit plan then.
Exactly. The whole thing with in Munich was him and Anna literally like either one of them could have killed Johan, but they got in a fight over who was going to kill Johan, so no one did, right? Like self-sabotage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Excuse me. I think the denial of reality thread going through all three characters, though, is very much important.
Yes.
Specifically with Johan, of course.
And a lot with Anna.
But then also in a subtle way with Tenma.
Right, and I want to see that like brought to the forefront more and like directly like have a light shown on it and explored.
I think actually what's going to happen of the consequence of Anna and Johan talking will bring out a lot of that specifically from Tenma.
Sure, because there will come a point like if Nina reverts to Anna and Tenma shows up.
And Tenma shows up and Johan's gone and Anna's just there like, well, I've got to kill myself. Like, Tenma's going to have to basically talk down the monster from ending themselves. It's a direct thing of saying, wait a minute. Anna's going to admit to being, as in some ways, just as much of a monster inside as Johan was. The only reason she didn't become that was because she didn't have those skills that Johan has developed.
Right, and because you know, that one circumstantial change.
Yeah.
She didn't go to Kinderheim, Johan did.
Yep.
Like, that could also be something that, like, in some ways, it wouldn't feel as earned to have that take the wind out of Tenma's sails for killing Johan, because I don't think he would truly be willing to kill Johan anyway with the way he is now.
Right.
But if like, I was totally sold, like, let's say he did kill the disciple and he's like, all right, let's go kill Johan. And then he sees Anna and he's like, oh, she did all those things. But I know her. I know her, right? She was able to heal, right?
Yeah.
Then, holy shit, Johan could too, and that other guy that I just killed, maybe he could have too.
Sure.
You know.
Sure. I mean, there can still be a conversation like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think in a lot of ways that's kind of a picture of what this story started with. Like, there's a kid who's no knowing about the morality, the alignment of this kid.
Right.
You know, there's nothing to say anything more than a reason that this is a human life. We're going to save it.
Yep.
This human life ends up being the cause of so much death and pain that Johan is faced with basically the existential question that a lot of us just aren't capable of answering, honestly, at least, at the very least, of would you kill someone if it meant you could save, 1,000? Or not even that, if it meant the potential of saving 1,000. There's no guarantee that what you're doing has any grand meaning in the long-term scale of things. You're basically putting the burden of being the judge, jury, and executioner on yourself based on, yes, their past wrongdoings, which are pretty dark and horrible.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
But you're more doing it for the future.
Right.
Because you probably couldn't even rectify in your head, or at least maybe most of us wouldn't, the whole idea of they did a lot of stuff. It's more no, I have to stop more things from happening because I can't change the past, but I can change the future.
Right.
So I think most of us need that. I'm stopping you from doing horrible things in the future and stuff. So
there was this fun twist I heard on, I can't remember where I heard it exactly, on the there's the train, going one direction, and you can flip the tracks, and there's one person on the one side, and then
it's currently going to kill like 5 people.
Right.
If you switch it, it will kill 1 person.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And the fun twist on that was that basically amongst the 5 people, one will end up being like some horrible murderer, like mass murderer.
Gotcha.
And then another person there will end up like curing cancer, right? And it's the idea of like, so so the idea that basically it's not so simple,
right.
or maybe the person who cures cancer is like on the other, is the one person, right?
Yeah, you have to value is there some unique value to one human's life versus another's, and that's a whole other
and the idea of the
collateral
damage potentially with that, if it's the one person that cures cancer with the 5 people, one of whom ends up being a murderer,
Monster, you bring up some really good stuff. And now we're rocketing towards a finale, and yet we still have...
There's still so many characters
7 episodes left.
Come into the final stage for this.
So, yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us about stories or just hang out in general and chat about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.